Congratulations, you are halfway through the course. Last week, we learned about the importance of running records for learning about students' reading skills and strategies. This week, we will answer the question, so now what? We have this data, and now it's time to look at the data to plan for effective instruction for the students. Prior to reading the presentation portion, please stop and read the assigned text for this week. Okay, at this point, you have read quite a bit about the format, of a guided reading lesson, along with the research behind it. Well, many times I work with teachers who believe that guided reading is only for emergent readers. That's not true. Guided reading is an important instructional practice throughout the elementary grades and even into middle school. The lesson focus and the text may be different, but the format is the same. So once you have the format of the guided reading lesson down, and you pair it with the art of listening and interpreting your students' learning, you will see results very quickly. I want you to go back and review figure 1.11 on page 30 in our guided reading text. Notice how Fountas and Pinnell explicitly state what both the child and the teacher should be doing before, during, and after the reading. This week, you're going to be viewing guided reading lessons in action. And they are right here. There's a level C, a level D, and a grade 5. I can't remember which level that is. As you are watching these lessons, I want you to pay particular attention to the introduction of the text. This week, you're going to be writing a text introduction. And you're not teaching the lesson, you're just introducing the text to the child. That's all you're doing this week. You can reintroduce it next week and have them read it, but this week it is only the text introduction. I want you to go back to our text and carefully look at the introduction that's found on pages 24 and 25 of a level N, which is the rooster and the crow. I also want you to look at pages 112 and 113 for the introduction to something for dinner, which is a level C. Notice that the teacher does not say, we're going to take a picture walk, because that isn't what you're doing during the introduction of the text. During that introduction, the very first thing that the teacher does is provides the title of the book and tells the students the gist of the story. You don't ask them what the title of the book is because they don't know. You haven't introduced it. Notice what the teacher does during the introductions. You're asking the students to share predictions, to share what they know. The teacher may draw attention to the illustrations and the characters. The teacher may talk about the problem in this story. As you work with older readers, the teacher may be asking about genre characteristics. It's not just taking a picture walk. So please don't say that. You can say that you're going to preview the text with them, because really that's what you're doing. The introduction is a conversation back and forth with the students. Introductions are carefully thought out plans. I've worked with many teachers who don't feel the need to write out their text introductions. What happens then, if it's not written out, when you go to introduce that text to a group of students, you're not going to include everything that you wanted to include for those particular students. You're going to forget. Guarantee you're going to forget. So I highly recommend, whenever you're going to introduce a text, that you have that introduction written out and the points that you want to mention and point out to the students are noted on that plan. Again, this week you are only going to plan the introduction, not the entire guided reading lesson. You're just introducing the text to the student. If you have questions, please ask me.